Hey, shh, be quiet.
Hello, Diego. I've already talked to Milton on the other side of the camp.
Okay, so you already know what happened. But did you also hear about the planned raid on the free mine?
How could the old mine cave in?
One of the diggers who survived it told us that they were digging, and they hit an underground river on the bottom level. When the water gushed into the mine, one of the supports broke, and the entire upper section collapsed. Only a handful of people managed to escape from the mine.
Why are the fire mages dead?
That's a long story.
Just tell me about it. It's not the first long story I've had to listen to.
Well then, luckily I was in the ore baron's house when they got the news that the mine had collapsed. Gomez was hopping mad when he heard about the accident, and he was afraid that his position could be at stake.
Of course, who controls the ore controls the colony as well.
That's right. Since he has no source of income anymore, the goods from the outside world won't come in anymore either. Nobody will work for him if he doesn't get another source of income soon.
And that's the reason for the raid on the free mine?
To be honest, that's Gomez's only chance to maintain his power. 2 hours ago, 24 guards set out for the free mine.
That's mad. I need to warn the new camp.
Then you must hurry up. They'll have almost reached the free mine.
But they never get through the fortifications of the new camp.
They don't need to get through them. A few months ago, they found a path that leads over the mountains and right to the free mine, and nobody else knows about it.
I've seen the guards in front of the locked gates.
Stay away from them. They'll attack anybody approaching the camp. They are afraid of somebody avenging the raid on the free mine.
But what happened to the fire mages?
Coristo and the other mages were the only people in the camp to remain rational. They forbade the raid and demanded a settlement with the 2 other camps.
They forbade Gomez to raid the free mine?
Well, yes. Coristo and the others shouldn't have been so self-confident. Gomez didn't trust them anymore and had them perfidiously assassinated.
What are you and Milton going to do now?
We'll stay here for a while to warn some more friends so they don't bump straight into the guards. But you could do us a favor.
Consider it done. Tell me what you want.
Look out for Lester and Gorn. They need to know what happened here. Tell them that the 4 of us will meet at the same place as always.
If I see them before you do, I'll warn them and send them to your meeting point.
Thanks, my friend. You really seem to be an all right guy. Go now. We'll meet again later.
Take care.
I'm glad you returned. Something terrible has happened.
Let me guess, the free mine has been assaulted by the guards from the old camp. Nobody saw them coming?
Hang on. How? But of course. You found out about it in the old camp. Gorn arrived here just before you did. What could have caused he should be aware that such a heinous act can only provoke war?
The old mine collapsed after water seeped in.
Collapsed? Of course. Then the whole thing makes sense. Gomez has his back to the wall. He's more dangerous than ever. Now that he doesn't have anything left to lose, he'll do anything.
Gomez has had all of the Magicians of Fire killed.
Had them killed? Why in Beliar's name would he do a thing like that?
They were against the attack on the free mine and opposed Gomez.
Then we're all doomed. Without the other 6 magicians, we'll never be able to control the concentrated power of the massive ore mound. But in spite of that, I thank you for passing this dangerous message on to me.
When you sent me to the Magicians of Fire, you mentioned there was somebody.
Well, I had hoped we could make it without his help, but the way things are developing...
Who is he?
All right. Many, many years ago.
Give me the shortened version, please.
Be patient. Well, when we, the 12 magicians, created the barrier back then, Our magic powers were directed and controlled by a 13th magician.
A 13th magician? I thought there were only 12.
Most people who did not experience the early days of the colony believe that. This 13th magician was our leader. All this took place before we were divided into the circles of fire and water. But he left the old camp, which was once the only camp of the colony.
What is this 13th magician called?
His name is Xardas. Hardly anybody remembers the old stories about him. The ones who do just call him the necromancer.
Why did he leave the old camp?
He started to investigate the invocation of undead and magical creatures. Gomez was not the only one who began to worry. Most of the other magicians opposed him as well, and his unholy deeds.
What happened then?
Unlike Gomez, he was no butcher, so he avoided the conflict and left.
Where is this magician today?
He lives in seclusion, in his tower in the middle of the Orc land. That's just about the southernmost point of the colony.
I'll make my way to Xardas and ask him for help.
He's the only one that can help us now. If he knows no way out or doesn't want to help us,
He will.
there is one other problem.
A problem?
Yes, over the years we've tried to get in touch with Xardas several times, but it looks like he prefers to remain undisturbed.
What does that mean?
None of the messengers ever returned from his tower. You'll have to find a way to get past his creatures.
Looks like this is going to be interesting. How will I get past his creatures?
If I knew that, I would tell you. I'd advise you to do some research in our library. Maybe you'll find something in the old books about the strengths and weaknesses of magically invoked creatures.
I'll rummage through the library, and don't worry, I'll be back. Nefarious said I was ready to wear the robe of a magician of water.
Then I welcome you to our community.
Does that mean that I now belong to the Guild of the Magicians of Water?
Not yet. First you need to take the oath of water.
I'm ready to take the oath.
Now speak the words of the oath. I swear by the might of the gods,
I swear by the might of the gods,
and by the power of the holy water,
and by the power of the holy water,
that my knowledge and my deeds from now on and forever shall be one with the water.
that my knowledge and my deeds from now on and forever shall be one with the water,
Until my body shall return to the realm of Beliar, and the source of my life shall dry out.
until my body shall return to the realm of Beliar, and the source of my life shall dry out.
Wear this robe as a sign of your bond with the holy water and with Adanos.
Hello.
I met Diego and Milton in front of the old camp.
That's good news.
They want to meet you and Lester at your usual rendezvous.
Thanks. There's nothing more valuable than good friends in troubled times like these. You're almost one of us by now. You're reliable.
What have you got planned now?
Our entire defense strategy will have to be changed. That takes time. Until Lee and his people are ready, I'll join Cord's Provisional Guard.
Are you planning a counterattack?
Not yet, but the day will come. If ever you're looking for me, start here and walk towards the mine.
For the honor of...
I'm not listening to all the blathering and...
Let's talk about... Some people never
It's the
learn.
same story every time. I
Rely on somebody and you're in trouble. That's how it goes. You have to watch what you tell people.
better not to go rushing into anything.
You have to watch what you tell people.
Your decision to join the Magicians of Water was right. Be welcome, brother. For the honor of magic.
I want to...
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
I doubt that's ever likely to change.
You're very probably right.
Must be something about that story after all. Rely on somebody and you're in trouble. That's how it goes.
It was obvious that there would be trouble ahead.
Some people never learn.
It was obvious that there would be trouble ahead. Let's talk about something else instead.
If you think
I thought that had been cleared up
there
ages
was a
ago.
time when things would have gone very differently.
Well, there was a time when things would have gone very differently.
Let's talk about something else instead.
That won't happen again. You're very probably right.
People always talk.
I doubt that's ever likely to change.
Oh, I thought that would have been clarified a long time ago.
What you tell people.
That wasn't very clever. If you think
Yeah, there must be something about that.
May
story.
I pass through here?
was it very clever? As long as I know.
That won't happen. You shouldn't leave everything here. Every time.
That wasn't very...
You are talking to me? How did you get into my head? You are what? The servant of your master? You seem to be a creature from hell. You want me to be silent? Is your master's name perhaps Xardas? Oh, right, so names are not important. Okay. I'll just assume that this here is the Tower of Xardas. I have to talk to your master. Me? Unworthy? What kind of test? Ah, I understand. Whoever wants to talk... Hold on, what was that? The proof? Stone?
If you think. Maybe. Let's talk about something else instead.
Rely on somebody, and you're in trouble. That's how it goes.
Really not my problem. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes, though.
For the
Let's talk about something else.
But keep it to yourself. People don't need to know.
Wasn't very clever.
You have to watch what you tell
That's
me.
really not my problem.
I'm listening to all the blah.
Maybe. If you think.
Maybe.
Sane
something.
time.
That will.
Hey, you!
What about this heart of a fire golem? Perfection? I'm worthy? If that's the case, I'd like to speak to your master now. Counter evidence? What kind of counter evidence? A rune? A rune for me? Well, then I'll accept the rune of teleportation as a sign of worthiness. Mortal? Who? Me? Oh.
Who dares to disturb me in my studies?
My name is...
I don't wish to know your name. It's insignificant. All that matters is that you're the first person in years to have solved my golem's riddles.
Have there been any other visitors?
Not many. And when they began to annoy me, I confronted them with one of my supernatural creatures.
You enjoy being on your own, don't you? I was sent by Xardas. We need your help. The magicians of water plan to use their big ore mound.
The ore mound is not the solution.
It isn't?
No.
All the magicians of fire are dead. Gomez had them assassinated.
That does not surprise me. Those foolish barbarian butchers in the castle, especially Gomez, were never to be trusted. Caristo and the other magicians elected their own hangman when they helped Gomez to usurp the power.
The so-called sleeper is said to be an evil archdemon. That's what the Brotherhood in the swamp found out. Now the magicians of water believe that everybody in the colony is in great danger.
There is a greater danger than anyone within the barrier could possibly imagine.
If the explosion of the ore mound doesn't avert the great danger...
Forget the ore mound. Its power won't open the barrier. If Caristo and Xardas hadn't wasted their time fighting over foolish and vain issues throughout the past years, they'd all know what I know now.
Which is?
None of the 12 magicians ever stopped to wonder why the formation of the barrier got beyond their control, or why it assumed such gigantic proportions.
Did you find out why that happened?
Well, one thing is certain. The answer lies deep beneath the Orc Town.
The Orc Town?
Orcs are not animals, as many people think. Their culture is as old as the human culture. A few centuries ago, 5 orc shaman invoked a very old archdemon, which they hoped would give their clan the power to defeat their enemies.
This archdemon, was it the Sleeper?
The orcs gave him that name much later. But I won't tell you why they did it, or why they are now terrified by this supernatural creature.
Why not?
I believe you could be... No. To be really sure, you'll have to perform another task.
Which task?
Listen carefully. The orcs have exiled one of their shaman from the town.
Why have they exiled him?
The dying orc warrior was no longer able to answer that question when he was interrogated by one of my demons.
What does this orc shaman have to do with my task?
He'll tell you the rest of the story about the sleeper.
An orc shaman is hardly likely to be keen on talking to me.
Do you want me to help you or do you not?
Well, yes, but...
Then never question my words again. Find the shaman. He's not on good terms with his brothers in the Orc Town, so he may listen to you before turning you into a living torch.
Very comforting. Where is this exiled shaman?
Go to the old citadel in the east. You can't miss it. It's on top of a high mountain, which can be seen from a distance.
Can you just enter it?
They call it the old citadel, but there's hardly anything left of it other than the foundation walls. It's been a ruin for many decades.
I will get the answers from this shaman.
My servant has already given you a teleportation rune for the pentagram 1 floor below. That will make it easier for you to get back here later.
I'm seeking magic knowledge.